Hey gamers, welcome to the Animesphere. I'm Brian Woods.
Hey gamers, I'm John Messer, Mr. Nintendo, Mr. Anime.
And today we're talking about the hit anime film, Promare.
Promare. So Promare is Studio Trigger's first feature-length film. It's also their first theatrical release. If you don't know about Studio Trigger, it was founded by former Gainax employees Hiroyuki Imiyashi and Masahiko Otsuka in 2011. They were former Gainax employees. They were the writer and director pair for 2007's Gurren Lagann. They were also the writer-director for Trigger's first TV show, Kill la Kill, and they're the writer-director for Promare.
And so there's kind of a lineage here. And there's a lineage that made me very excited for this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I do think that it mostly paid off. They were doing new visual style stuff with CG. And what do you think about the art style? Which was a lot more CG than a normal anime, I think.
Yeah, it's like some anime I've been doing more recently. They merge a lot of 2D and 3D animation. So you have some traditional 2D animation and then 3D elements blended in. It's never fully 3D. They usually use 3D objects and they paint 2D on top and behind it.
Yeah.
It's pretty good compared to a lot of other examples. Did you ever see the Berserk anime?
I was about to bring it up.
Yeah.
So I do think for a film with a lot of CG, it does look very good. I actually really like the way it looks. I love the way the fire,
the Promare itself.
Yeah, the fire,
the weird fire.
Yeah, the weird fire I think looks very good for an anime.
I think it works really well because it's very stylized. It's very geometric. It's very it's not trying to look like real fire. It's trying to look like crazy purple blue.
In
fire.
a world,
it works.
Where fire burned the. It's been a month since I've seen it. In a world where fire happens, and now the world is anti-fire, the fire looking good.
I mean, if you're gonna have like a fire disaster, I appreciate the common courtesy for the fire to look cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so for a bit more raw information, the premise of the film is basically, we won't really go into spoilers or talk about the plot that much, but basically the idea for the movie is that in a world where there are magical fire-starting pyromaniacs who have the ability to shoot fire, manipulate fire almost like they're Green Lanterns. And they just set buildings on fire. Firefighters have obviously begun using large mech robots.
Very cool looking mech robots.
To battle with them while they save people from the building. Which is cool because firefighters are like the number one untainted real life heroes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like nobody's anti-firefighter.
Certainly not. I can't think of anyone that's anti. That's not really a valid stance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it's really cool to almost amplify those heroics with it's anime stuff, where they're fighting and there's crazy camera angles and superpowers and stances and the entire movie is dripping with flair because in the trailer the main one of the two main characters, he literally just makes a throne for no reason and sits down and it's just a big just constant almost breakdancing street battles.
And back to the lineage of Gurren Lagann and Kill la Kill. This kind of felt like a successor to that, a third one of those in a way. They're super stylish action animes that are over the top in every way, and this felt like a succession to that. And I'm I'm excited to see what they do with a movie format. And the answer was make a TV show less good. Because I really like the movie. But a lot of what worked for me in Kill la Kill and Gurren Lagann was the escalation of what was happening. No spoilers for that, but it escalates at a rate that is huge. And that works for me because there's stakes. The characters, I've watched these characters for dozen episodes, and then it starts getting crazy. And the characters, they work, I care about them.
Oh, yeah.
But in this one, it's the same amount of characters that they put in a TV show. They got the whole fire team. And most of those characters on the fire team have maybe 26 words of dialogue in the entire film.
There's only one firefighter.
There's only
that you get to know. But there's a team.
Yeah.
And in the beginning of the movie, they get introductions, they're gonna be characters, and then about 20 minutes later, they only show up for like 3-second shots to like react to stuff like they're Brock and Pokemon.
Yeah, like it's not. It feels like they wanted to do maybe 23 more episodes of this or something. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying it was an anime that got cut down, like a show that was cut down, but it feels like this was envisioned as a show, and they just said, "What if we made it a movie?" Like the pacing for me was not good. Like the pacing was like fine. It got where it needed to go. I wasn't really bored, but it felt like they wanted it to be more. And I would like for them to make like a Promare TV show where I get to see these characters that are really cool looking matter, because I can't really name a single one besides Gallo and Flotia. Yeah, like those are the only real two characters.
Is Flotia the girl?
No, Flotia. Leo.
Yeah,
okay,
Leo.
Okay. I forgot his first name.
I forgot his last name.
Yeah, I can't remember the girl's name. Like, so I do think that
I really do like Leo. I like the two. I mean, the Gallo's not that interesting, but I think Leo's interesting enough.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they aren't incredibly complicated characters, but that's not exactly what Trigger specializes in. They usually come up with characters that have 2 to 3 traits, and then they just amplify those traits and to like fill in the void.
Yeah.
And it usually is pulled off well. I mean, do you think part of the reason that you might have enjoyed Promare as much as you did was in any way influenced by Darling in the Franxx? Because there's a meme joke that like, oh, Trigger made Promare to apologize for Darling in the Franxx.
You know, I watched Darling in the Franxx, and not getting into it, I didn't hate it. I think it tried interesting things, and my girlfriend doesn't like it. She thinks it's bad. But for Darling in the Franxx, for a thing that I kind of watched from the beginning on and off, a show that started off as a extremely shallow and not interesting thing to delve into things that like are interesting in a weird way, I'm like, okay, I didn't hate that. And I don't know how involved Trigger was with Darling in the Franxx. I know that was like Annie Polex.
It was A1. It was a joint project.
Yeah, it was A1.
A1 Pictures, and I think the like showrunner was an A1 Pictures guy.
Yeah, so that didn't really come into mind at all when I was watching Promare or like coming off of it.
Yeah,
I didn't really feel.
I mean,
much.
I've recently been rewatching Darling in the Franxx with my friend.
Okay.
With my friend. I wouldn't watch it on my own, but I watched it when it was new, and I was watching the new episodes as it came out when it was new, and I remember just like feeling. I don't usually get disappointed with stuff because I don't usually build expectations for stuff, but it was Trigger. And in my opinion, the first few episodes were interesting enough.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And I started to develop, your basic questions about like what's going on. And I won't spoil anything, but once I started to get answers for things, I was like, oh, that's like one of the dumbest possible ways you could have done with this.
Absolutely. And like, it is an immensely disappointing show, but I don't think they are related enough for me to like draw comparisons. They both have mechs, but like for me, it's...
Yeah, I don't think the average person would watch it, and unless they like really had an eye for action scenes. I don't think the average person would be like, "Oh, that's Trigger," the same way that they would if they watched like Little Witch Academia or Kill la Kill or something.
So I would say I've cooled on Promare a bit. I'm definitely going to see it again on December 8th, right?
Yeah. That's okay. So, Promare originally had a limited run in theaters in the United States,
as anime films do.
But apparently it did well enough and was a big enough deal that there will be encore showings. The Japanese audio with English subtitles will be December 8th, and the English will be on December 10th, and they will be playing right here in the Regal Theaters in Columbia, Missouri, and other theaters if you won't be in Columbia, and you can look it up. And it will be available digitally in February.
Can we talk about the turnarounds on the home release for this film? When did this come out?
In Japan, it released in May.
Wait, when did it come out here?
September?
Like, what's the turn... What an incredibly long turnaround. The Blu-ray's coming out in like February?
I don't even know about Blu-rays. I just know that it'll be available to watch online digitally.
Okay.
Either for streaming or purchase. I don't know exactly.
In December?
In February.
In February. What a turnaround. What an incredibly long wait for me to see this movie again. Because there are parts of this movie I would like to see that again soon.
Well, they've been doing all these encore showings.
Yeah.
I think other countries, don't quote me on this, but I think in the UK they might be doing encore showings as late as like January.
Yeah. I mean, it is a great film, and I think everyone should probably watch it.
Oh, yeah. It definitely has a very like high recommendation from me.
Yeah.
I think another thing to add about the movie is that the music.
Yeah.
It's
really good. I've been listening to it a lot.
All the music's good, but there's 3 songs specifically. I've been listening to Inferno and Ashes and the Superfly song.
Yeah.
that I won't. Again, no spoilers. I've been saying that, but the scene where that song plays, I think in its entirety,
Yeah.
is my favorite part of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the song has a lot of emotion into it, but it plays over a scene of like a lot of destruction and rampaging, and it's not what you would exactly imagine playing during that scene, and
Yeah.
it creates like a really cool contrast. And I think once you get to the scene and you watch that movie, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I give it a recommendation out of 5. You have anything else to say about it?
Man, if I had to give it a number, first of all, I use a 10 scale, Brian.
Okay, yeah, big boy.
Big- You'll get there someday.
What's the difference between a 6 and a 7? It's 5
What's the
stars.
difference between a 4 and a 5?
One is a 10, one is an 8.
Yeah. Sometimes.
One's very
What,
good.
you
one's less good.
ever made a 0.5 rating?
Never. Insane.
I would give it an 8 or a 9.
Yeah.
I sincerely really appreciate it. And this will be the last thing I say, is that I think that for any movie or any TV show or art in general, not everything is going to be good at the same things. You're not going to play, you're not going to play Mass Effect for, like, you're going to play for the story. And you're not going to play Halo for deep lore.
Mm-hmm.
There is deep lore that's in books, but whatever.
Got books, bro.
Brooks. I don't know what a book is. I can't read. But the thing with Promare is that you're not going to be questioning your entire reality once you finish watching it. It's not going to, like, super duper simulate your intelligence, but there is something when something is like that well made and that well polished, and there's like that much just like energy, and you can tell that everybody that was making it really enjoyed what they were making and really enjoyed doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And when it's people who have all this skill, veterans from Gynax, people who've been working on Trigger itself isn't brand new anymore. It's been around for 8 years, There's all that skill and there's all that stuff in it and all that passion, and it comes out in the movie and you can see it, and that's what makes it like a 9 out of 10.
I really love that movie. See it on December 8th and 10th.
Yeah, December 8th and 10th at the Regal Columbia. It's Japanese on the 8th, English dub. We saw the English dub.
Yeah,
on the
which
10th.
was good.
It's a good English dub. They paid a lot of money. They got like Steve Blum, all the big guys. Check out more of our content at mutv.missouri.edu and check out our social media and watch this movie. Please, I'll find you.
It's a good one.